Mario Kart World has been out for 1 month. Let's look at what these time trial world records look like. So last time a lot of you asked me to compare to the previous time's record. So wow, extra trick there. What? How'd they get that? Okay, well anyway, this record has been beaten by 1 second. I wonder if it's just that extra trick. Oh, a left trick there. Interesting. Okay, I'm seeing some brand new things here. If you've never seen these records before, I'm mainly going to be comparing them to what we've seen before, you know, new strategies, because a lot of these we've already seen for the past 2 weeks. If you haven't seen them, where have you been? Come on. Yeah, this game moves fast. Okay, tricking off the very bottom left of that glider panel and getting a super low trick on that rail. These are now all very, very optimized. Look at that. An extra trick there. I wonder if they tricked before the rail, kind of like what they're going to do right here, where you're not actually tricking on the rail. Wow, an extra right trick there. Okay, and it's different between lap 1 and 2. I wonder if it has to do with how many coins you have. But yeah, one thing I've noticed is that if you can, doing a side trick off of a rail is very good. Like instead of a forward trick, you do a side trick because you move diagonally. And I haven't tested this myself, but it does appear like you move faster when moving diagonally. And I don't know how they get that low trick there. And then landing on the top part of the rail instead of the diagonal part to get less air. And that trick off of the rail right after the mushroom, you're still in the mushroom boost, and that's how they maintain their speed there. Wow, so a lot more side tricks instead of forward tricks compared to what we used to see. That's a very cool optimization. I wonder if we're going to see that more in other tracks. I'm sure a lot of other tracks already have this optimization, but yeah, and then those two edge tricks there, crazy stuff. I hate those. I'm sure the time trialers hate them too, because like you must be failing so many runs to tricking off the edge or not getting the trick. Nice stuff. Wow. Crown City by K4i, and this beats the last time that we saw 2 weeks ago by just over 1 second. So whenever I talk about the previous record in this video, I'm talking about from about 2 weeks ago, because that's the last time we looked at these records. And yeah, I wonder if it's just little optimizations or... Okay, this rail, that might be new. I'm not sure. Crown City is one I'm not as good at. Wow, okay, and then tricking off the car, they got that extra trick before as well. Another car trick. I'm so glad that those are actually faster. Man, it took a while for those to be discovered to be faster, I guess. Wait, do you get a coin from those? Oh, some wall tech? Okay, nice. Get the orange mini turbo. Very clean line through that shortcut. Bounce off the car. Yeah, we've seen that before. Okay, I can't rewind in these. I'm not paying attention to if those are giving coins. I know that you can get coins by jumping off of cars. Yeah, and when you first get onto this rail, the little airtime you get is really bad. And so I love the way that, especially like getting the air trick off the final rail, I love the way that we're managing how much airtime we're getting here, because airtime can be really slow in this game. Okay, that trick has always been surprising to me, that that's even faster. Because if you don't trick there on the first boost panel, you still get your speed boost all the way into the next boost panel. Alright, wow, only 1 coin there. I feel like you can get 2. I feel like that loses a little bit of time. Maybe several frames? I don't know. Okay, we're getting as low as we can on this glider. Back onto tricking here. Wow, a lot of air right for those 3 tricks. Interesting why we don't do that on lap 2. Okay, and then cut this really inside. I'm curious if the ending has had any changes. Yeah, you mostly want to come out of that shortcut in a straight line so that you can line up for the next one. Okay, we're going to charge jump here. Yeah, extra trick. And then just go for this tree. Oh, barely dodging the wall. Anything here? A little charge jump onto the rail. Oh, same as the lap 1 strategy. And then a pole hit. And another trick. Yeah, this is really good. This is a lot more optimized than what we saw last time. Before we start on Whistlestop Summit, I just want to give an extra congratulations to Enmead, the Mario Kart Wii legend, for getting a Mario Kart World record. Whistlestop Summit by this Japanese player. I apologize, I cannot personally pronounce the names. This record has improved by nearly 6 seconds compared to what we last saw. Whistlestop Summit, with all these rails, you knew it was going to be a technical track. Also the walls, and then just like phasing right onto that rail. That is incredible. These are things, like, I'm decent at Whistlestop Summit, but these are things that I just haven't learned yet. Okay, mushrooming through there. and then doing the charge jump. So I have actually seen a more recent record because I watched Enmead's record. However, I remember that he was using the mushroom after the charge jump to regain speed, and then this is incredible too. Yeah, we're definitely going to talk about all that. So, yeah, first we get onto this yellow. Oh, the extra wall stuff, and then barely dodging that rail. This is really tough. I've tried it a few times. The second wall you have to get onto is so small. And then getting extra coins here. So there is a charge jump shortcut that you want to go for online here and do wall jumps. But here you just mushroom through and do this. And that's now the best mushroom spot because the final shortcut, which is way bigger, you can do completely shroomless because of this. You get over here, you get really high on the next wall, then you can ride that rail. And yeah, all of that is really tough. Even the easy parts of that look, they are really tough. I've nailed that like twice before out of at least 60 tries. I just take that shortcut with the feather if I have the opportunity to do so. But yeah, Whistlestop Summit is definitely a track that I want to get better at because these shortcuts look really, really cool. And I wonder how consistent this charge jump is because obviously it's not that involved, right? It's like pretty simple on the inputs, but it must be really hard to get just the right alignment. I imagine that's one of the toughest things to align for. Much like the fast Bowser's Castle shortcut that we're going to see soon as well. Oh, a wall. Okay, I'm curious. It's like Wario Shipyard. Why is that faster if you lose one of the boosts? DK Spaceport by Pi, and this has only improved by 0.2 seconds. We just saw a track that improved by nearly 6 seconds, and this one, I really doubt there's a strategy change. Maybe there's something small, but most likely it's just cleaned up driving and better lines, or maybe going for slightly riskier lines. When you see a 0.2 improvement, typically that's what it is, but it's possible that they found a strategy that saves 0.2 seconds. Although you can imagine with all the players getting much, much better through practice and just experience with this game, that you'd be a lot better than 0.2 if there was really a lot to improve on in terms of strategy. So yeah, little mini turbo trick there, slight optimization. And then yeah, there are so many coins on this track, it's really nice. Oh, that's a really, really early mushroom. Okay, and then here we just, yeah, this is always such a shame that a lot of the tricks on this track are slower than just driving on the ground. Oh, a charge jump. Okay, there's no way that saves 0.2. But like, that must save time. I did not see that last time. Okay, we are almost at 20 coins. Okay, yeah, so right there, if you trick off the end of the rail instead of earlier, you get a slightly longer trick boost, and that's what I was looking for there. And that's why, with only 3 mushrooms, we don't take that mushroom shortcut in particular. I imagine it's because of that longer trick boost. But here, the trick boost is done, so you just go for the shortcut. Oh, wow. Wow, the barrel cycles, these have to be perfect. Are we going under it again? Oh, that's so close to hitting. You can probably save, like, another 0.1 seconds before you start running into that barrel. Desert Hills by Cole. This is about 1.5 seconds faster than the last world record. Wow, a charge jump at the start. I'm glad we're finding where charge jumps are faster now. It seems like you want to stack the charging time with a speed boost, but it doesn't seem like you always do it. It really depends on the speed boost, because I didn't see any other tracks start with that so far. So yeah, I'm curious why that's faster here. And this shortcut, you have to cut it so tight and release that orange mini turbo right away. That is way harder than it looks. All right, here's the new strategy. Onto the wall, detach, get a trick, trick, trick. Oh, that's nice. And then, oh, losing some speed in the off-road there. Interesting. I thought we'd go more left to dodge the off-road, but maybe you get bad alignment. What? That's faster. And then we get in front of the enemy. I don't even know what that's called. That's crazy. I wonder if we do that again on lap 3. Okay, yeah, even just that shortcut is really tough. Let's see if we do this again. Yup. Okay, wow, you can charge jump really far here. Yeah, and like, you know, over the course of 3 laps, we didn't see that last time. Over the course of 3 laps, that plus every other optimization only saves 1.5 seconds. So yeah, we're doing this again. So that means in total, that wall shortcut saves less than half a second. So if it's really risky to go for, that's definitely not something you want to do online. But obviously I have not tried it yet. It just looks very, very difficult to me. But I'm so glad that something like Desert Hills, which is one of the simplest tracks, especially in time trials, has something really cool like this now. I love to see this. Shy Guy Bazaar by Zay. And this is about 1.7 seconds faster than before. I know there's a new strategy here. I'm excited to see it. Okay, so we go for these rails over here. It's right here. We go for the wall. Oh, man. And then we go over here. If you're seeing this for the first time, you're in for a treat. Oh, an extra trick there? Was that off the wall? That was so fast. And then just a blue mini turbo. Hit the wall for better alignment there. Very interesting wall physics in this game. And we're going to go for coins lap 1, but there's a different strategy there on that rail for lap 2. And then right there, ending it off with a side trick, because I believe side tricks are faster. And a little bit of glider movement there. Wow, very, very nice. Okay, are we going for that all 3 laps? I wonder if the coin count difference makes this a little bit different. Okay, no, it's exactly the same. I've actually tried to do this. Oh, no mini turbo. Okay, that is a difference with the coin count. I have tried this, and I always avoided getting that mini turbo because getting the mini turbo and charging the charge jump is so difficult. You have like no time to do that. And also, like, so much of that is difficult. Also, what you just saw with the rails there, that is the fastest way to take that section. Wow, getting an extra trick there. I've tried that trick before, and it never gives me a speed boost because it thinks I'm still in the glider. I wonder, because like we must have known about that since day 1. I just wonder like why it's suddenly faster. And yeah, landing on this rail right here is really, really tough. You need to get off every other part as early as possible in order for that to work. And yeah, it's just, that's so tough. I struggle to see that being a consistent online strategy unless we go for some backup strategies along with it. And I doubt it saves that much more time over the regular path. It's like probably about half a second. But it's really, really cool. I love that because the regular path is just the regular path. That is a really nice shortcut. Nice run. Wario Stadium by Genzwa. And this has only been improved by 0.7 seconds, which is actually surprising to me, but there have been new strategy developments that I think are not in the world record yet, and we'll see if they show up at some point. But yeah, we're starting with this strategy here that was discovered relatively early on, actually. It's weird to say that because it's only been a month, but like every week has had so many developments. Yeah, not going for the wall here. There's a strategy with the wall there that is potentially faster, especially on lap 1, but it looks really tough. And here we go for extra tricks and the coins. Every time I go for the extra tricks, I miss the coins. And like when I'm playing online, it's just not worth it. It's better to get all the coins there and skip the tricks, but oh well. So yeah, I was actually 1 second away from the world record at some point, but now I'm like 4 seconds away. These things just improve so quickly. Okay. Also, one thing that I'm super excited to see in this video is Rainbow Road. I haven't actually watched it, but I know something really awesome has happened there, and I just want to watch it for the first time and get my live reaction to it. Now, this strategy for lap 2 and 3, getting up here, if you charge jump with the mushroom, is very easy. I do it online all the time, and actually the first time I did it online was without even having practiced it first. It was just like, it's just exactly what I thought it was. I'm like, oh yeah, that's simple. But to do it without a mushroom looks easy. And last time that we saw that this record, I commented on it being maybe easy and easier than the previous strategy, but nope, it's basically impossible. I don't even know how they do it without a mushroom to get that high, because I always just detach from the wall when I charge jump up there. But with the mushroom, for some reason, you just make it up there. I don't even know what the mechanic is going on here, but yeah, like I do the exact same thing, and then I just fall off the wall before I get onto this rail. It looks so easy, but it's just not. And then charge jump right here, super important. Oh, and we get the lower version of the charge jump. Okay, so right before you land, you can see Baby Daisy is getting a boost, and that's because the boost panels actually extend into the air, and that's giving her the boost before she lands. Airship Fortress by Emil P, the king of Airship Fortress. This track probably has had no strategy development since last time, because it has only improved by 0.3 seconds. Okay, a little late trick there. That's interesting. I don't think I saw that. Yeah, and then getting off for those coins, but then coming right back on. And then on lap 2 and 3, we should just be staying on that rail. Now, taking this turn super tight by hitting the wall is very interesting. And I'm finally getting used to the fact that that's how this game works, but my Mario Kart 8 Deluxe brain still rejects it sometimes, because hitting a wall like that in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe just completely sends you in the other direction. And this one right there too. 2 wall hits actually, they send you in the perfect alignment. That's a very early Rainbow Mini Turbo release. Yep, charge jump there. I love that one. Because you not only cut the off-road and get a really good line onto the rail, but you also get to cut a bit of the gap. And it takes some practice, but it's very consistent, and I actually do that one online. All right. Yeah, so this track, I feel like, because there's so many rails, but, you know, only one option you have for the rails, it's hard to find big improvements on this track, you know, whereas something like Whistlestop Summit, there were rails all over the place, and walls, and, like, rails on top of shortcuts and stuff, and there's, like, so much to discover. But here, it's like, quite obvious here, you know, like, most players can do this rail at about the same speed. So I can totally see why it's hard to find improvements on this track, and I wonder if there's going to be a big strategy development at some point. You know, you can never count those out. Just because you see everything you think there is on a track, that doesn't mean, you know, like something big can't be discovered. As history has shown in every Mario Kart game, that the early world records almost never stand, even if you cannot imagine what could possibly make this any faster. So yeah, this is already really impressive for how optimized this is, that over 2 weeks it only improved by 1/3 of a second. DK Pass by Hobbit. This is a crazy one. It's improved by about 3 seconds and switched from the fastest combo to one of the slowest combos. And I think it's for the handling stat, because, okay, just watch for yourself, because this is some amazing stuff. Could you have imagined this is the way to go? But there's more. Insane stuff. And that's not even the only strategy you can do on that section. And then, of course, we go into the trees, just like we saw last time. Oh, man. DK Pass just gets better and better. And even with all these being discovered, now that pretty much every single section has something crazy, I wouldn't be surprised if more and more discoveries get made, because there are a lot of walls and rails on this track. And we're already skipping one of the rails in order to do a different strategy. I will definitely point it out here, but yeah, here you go like super to the left, get over here, and then if you look at the mini-map, look at how much of the turn we're cutting. It's like the Mushroom Gorge gap jump, basically, except you lose speed in the off-road. However, it does save, like, I don't know how much it saves. This is a total guess. I feel like it saves between 1/2 second and 1 second every lap, which is huge. I wouldn't be surprised if it was more, but that's what it feels like to me when I do it. But I'm not doing it optimally, so maybe it saves more for the best players in the world. And that, again, a wall hit to maintain good alignment. That's just a very common thing in this game. Yeah, like, watch the minimap right now, okay? Like, when we take this shortcut right here. It really reminds me of the Mushroom Gorge gap jump with how much we're cutting. And, like, that's not even that slow. You spend a lot of that in a trick boost. And then getting off that wall, I'm so curious why that saves more than going for the rail up top. But I guess we'll never know. We only have 2 coins because we never go on the main road on this track. We're always taking a shortcut. Oh. And the thing with slow combos is that the first few coins matter the most. So 2 coins is like, you know, you probably have to, I imagine you probably have to get like 6 more coins to match the speed difference you just got from 2. Starview Peak by Wood22. This record has improved from 2 weeks ago by about 1/2 second. Which makes sense. Starview Peak is a relatively simple track, and we're already using a speed combo, so, you know, there's less you can do with the mini turbos. And so it... Oh, charge jump? That's new. Okay. I'm so confused. I'm still confused. This is more questions than answers, because when is the charge jump faster and when is it not? We get speed boosts all the time. And only sometimes it's a charge jump. Okay, here we're staying very right while still getting the boosts. Then we're going to do the charge jump shortcut here. Wow, cutting off way more than I do. Then tricking straight. When I trick straight there, I run into the next rail. And then staying on this section is faster than being on the water. Learned that the hard way. Yeah, so this track is relatively simple. Of course, it can always improve, it can always be optimized, but if you just look around at what's available, like there's a rail on the right, there's a rail on the left here, but they're just not that good. Like, you look at where this rail ends, like, how are you going to come out with good alignment afterwards? So you actually don't have that many options on this track, but just getting that Rainbow Mini Turbo and then this one into the glider, there's so rarely glider techniques in this game, at least not that we've discovered yet. in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, there were glider techniques, but they were not discovered, a lot of them, for years after the game came out. So I wouldn't be surprised if there are, but for now we don't know. So yeah, with like so many gliders and a wide road with not too much to do, no walls, not too many rails, there definitely is not too much to improve on in Starview Peak, unless, of course, a big strategy gets discovered. Like if we start riding the wall off the edge right there, which I doubt you could do well, but who knows? Like, I doubt that because my mind is not open enough to these possibilities. Or maybe it's out of bounds. You never know. That's a weird thing about this game, is like, the out of bounds can feel pretty freeing sometimes, until you run into a situation where it's like, oh, that shortcut or that feather shortcut really looks like it should be possible, and it's just not. And so in some ways, I feel like this creates a game that it feels like it rewards creativity, but really it's rewarding experimentation and memorization, which is fine, but sometimes I wish the Lakitu zones weren't so bad. Hey! Sky High Sundae by Isaac. And this is only improved by, oh, I can't remember, but you'll see it on screen, like 0.2 or 0.3 seconds, which is crazy. Like, are there any new strategies? Is there like one extra charge jump that we're doing and then the rest is the same as before? Maybe a combo switch? I didn't really pay attention to that. Okay, so far everything looks the same to me. And this charge jump, we did see this last time. Yeah, this trick right here, into getting this trick, very, very difficult timing. I've hit that once in my life, and I don't really go for it. All right, nice. Little trick off the end of the rail, and you can tell because there's a longer trick there. And staying really low here. That's how you save a lot of time there. But it's a bit risky because you could fall off. Okay, nice. So far, everything I've seen is pretty much the same. I wonder if it's just little optimizations. And it looks like we moved a little bit in the glider there. I still don't understand when sometimes we're moving up and down in a glider. And you're going to see more of that on especially the end of Rainbow Road. Assuming the strategies haven't changed. I haven't watched that one yet. Okay, and then there's that middle shortcut right here with the boxes, but it's not much faster and you have to use a mushroom on it. Obviously much better to take the earlier chocolate shortcut. Alright, wow, staying so low there, and then getting the wall detach into the air trick there. This is a track I have not practiced too much, but I really enjoyed this much more than in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. It was so simple in that game. Now, the music sounds almost exactly the same to me, and that gives me bad memories of being bored on this track in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I gotta admit, the music is pretty good. I liked it a lot more before I played this track in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and just got bored a lot. And I definitely remember hearing this music a lot when I'm like front running and doing nothing. And I hear it a lot when I'm like in 10th place with no way to come back. But now this track it's still a good front runner, but it's a lot more volatile, which I do enjoy. Wario Shipyard by 9, and this is improved by 2 seconds since the last time we saw it. And I guess that's to be expected because there have been a lot of really creative strategies discovered on Wario Shipyard. Let's see, we got this charge jump. I don't remember if this was here before. Wow, nice. Okay, so the mushroom then gets used in the upcoming off-road cut. I actually haven't seen this one before, but I am aware of these strategies. So we charge jump here, trick off early there. A little water trick into mushroom and drift through. That's crazy. So really, we're just spending as little time as possible in the water. You can get tricks in the water, but water is very slow, especially because it gives you a lot of airtime. And often you cannot trick on it. So especially like if you need to hit every single trick, basically impossible, no matter how many tries you get. So I can totally see why avoiding the water altogether is a much more consistent and possibly just even theoretically faster strategy here. Yeah, that's one way I've never done that version of the cut. I do it in several different ways depending on what happens, and I never quite hit the correct wall on the right. It's very tough. And this charge jump, barely enough time to get it. Wow, and there's so much airtime from the water there. I feel like getting the charge jump in that exact way, it seems like it must be pretty luck-based with how much airtime you're getting from the water. Because it barely charges, and I think charge jumps don't charge in the air. You have to be actually touching a surface in order for it to charge. Alright, so I noticed there was no extra trick here. Yeah, we just wait for the blue mini turbo and then trick off. Interesting. There used to be 2 tricks on that rail. Yeah, tricking right off that rail and then skipping all of the off-road there. So pretty much we only have one turn in the water right here, and it's right here. I guess there's like one more coming up a bit later, but yeah, do you see how that hop there to charge the charge jump this time didn't give a trick, but it did give a trick on lap 2. I wonder if that is a little time loss there, or if it's not possible to trick on the cycle on lap 3. It's really tough to tell because there looked like there was a little pocket of water bump, but it just didn't give a trick. Oh, and then right here, you trick to the right here. I think because of the diagonal rail trick, it gives you a little bit more speed. And then this, just like the end of Whistlestop Summit, and then a camera glitch. Koopa Troopa Beach by Alberto, and this record has only dropped by 0.3 seconds. It's completely understandable. If there's any track that I did not expect the time to drop by much, it is Koopa Troopa Beach. This track is just so simple. There are no rails. There are no alternate paths. It's just grass shortcuts and drifting. And this is what we saw in a lot of other Mario Kart games, which is fine. It's fun. But in Mario Kart World, it just isn't enough, you know? But this one is really cool. Like, we do take advantage of that wall a little bit to get that trick. I'm not sure if that's the wall, actually, but yeah, like, that's a really fun one, especially because we get to take advantage of charge jumping. So at least there is some stuff on this track that does take advantage of Mario Kart World mechanics, but not much. Like, even the water is different in this game, but the water on this track, you're hardly in it. And when you are, it's not like full-on water. It's just like really shallow water, and it's basically the same as the ground, as in you can't get tricks on it, and turning in it feels relatively the same. So yeah, very interesting track choice that they brought this back. I feel like, I don't know, this track could have been so much more interesting. I feel like a lot more other tracks in this game got a lot more love than Koopa Troopa Beach. And not only that, but we're playing 5 laps on this thing. And it's the only 5-lap track. I wonder what Nintendo was thinking with this. At least we do get that really fun charge jump shortcut. There is something on this track. There is something. I will give it that. Yeah, Alberto loves to do the camera stuff at the end, I've noticed. Faraway Oasis by MX5. This one has improved by 0.7 seconds, which is a little bit misleading unless you've seen the world record from from 2 weeks ago, because the huge improvement in this track happened before that 2 weeks, right? Something new got discovered then. And I guess since then, there have been no new discoveries, or, I mean, no new big discoveries on Faraway Oasis, but we'll see here. So we're gonna have that crazy shortcut that we saw before. Oh, man. Oh, man. And then you get so much airtime, and then the rail corrects your alignment. I'm shocked every time I see that. I'm gonna be shocked 3 times this this race, and I will not dodge that shock, because it's just so crazy. How can you get that much airtime? It doesn't make sense. But it's like, you know, credits to Nintendo for making such an amazing track that's possible, or just credit to the players for discovering something completely unintentional. You never know, because there's always this beauty to Nintendo games. That is why we play it so much, despite Nintendo being such a weird company. Sorry, Nintendo. But thanks, Nintendo, for this shortcut. So yeah, congratulations to, I think it was James that discovered this. Don't quote me on that. I think I knew at some point, but I learned too much in this game, and it's been pushed out of my brain by this point. So yeah, amazing stuff to everyone in the Mario Kart World speedrunning time trial community for discovering so much of this stuff, including people who don't necessarily get the world records or like grind time trials, but really love discovering strategies. I personally have discovered just like one feather shortcut that's still relevant. It's fun. It's fun. I think that is really admirable. I love all the work and all the love that goes into this game. And of course, Nintendo, amazing 3-lap tracks. Please, please let us play it online, because we love it so much. Peach Beach by K4I. This has improved by a very, very little amount. And we saw this last time. We saw these tricks on the poles. Oh, and then another charge jump afterwards. I don't think we saw that one last time. I can't be 100% sure. There's too much going on this track. But yeah, that's such a clean line going around that off-road. Reminding me of the first turn of Dry Dry Desert. Can we get 3 coins? Nice. That looks really tough, especially on that cycle. Like, if you're a bit slower, it looks like it's a bit easier, but on this cycle... Oh! Oh, wow, okay, drifting into the grass, not using the mushroom right away, and then not even, like, what am I saying? The mushroom is not enough for that shortcut, so you have to be, like, really specific about the timing of everything. Okay, and then just getting 1 coin on each turn. It's very important not to go too wide, especially on sharp turns. You lose so much time for that. Then, of course, the biggest shortcut on the track right here. Nice, okay. Getting some extra coins there. And then the rest of the track is just not that interesting. This was definitely a choice for how to change Peach Beach. I mean, it wasn't that interesting to begin with. Oh, nice alignment for the triple coin. Yeah, and that rail is like the last interesting thing on this track. I'm being completely honest. Okay, nice. And we don't go to the left there. We just stay at the bottom here. Probably less airtime or something. And then take a really, really tight turn around that corner. And then, you know, just drive straight. Do a little bit of steering. Don't hit the stuff on the left. Oh, you can go a lot closer to that than I thought. Okay, and then trick right here. Oh, extra mini turbo? Since when? I thought we don't do that in this game. Salty, salty Speedway by Dog. Now, the more Troy talks to me about this track, the more I like it. And the more I play it, the more I like it. I did not like this at all when I first started playing, but now it is so cool. Look at this. Charge jump onto here. Land perfectly right there. That is really, really tough. And then this is just some crazy stuff. Yeah, so if you've seen my guide on all the tracks, I do teach you how to do all this stuff. It is easier than it looks, but it is very difficult. I find that's true for a lot of things in this game. It's easier than it looks, but you still have to practice a lot, and there's a lot of specifics you have to get. And that's one thing that's so interesting about this game is, like, I mean, look at all this. And we trick and then trick on the pole, and then it's like there's so much that's it's creativity, but it's not creativity in the moment. A lot of it is like creativity in your planning and practice and experimentation and discovery. And then when you actually go race, you're not exhibiting a lot of creativity. Now, you are choosing which path to take, but every path you take has to be pretty practiced. You can't really make up like wall stuff and rail stuff on the fly, because if you try to do that, the game just moves too fast and you'll probably make a mistake that is just not worth it at all. Now, this shortcut, I've tried to learn it, and it does seem like it can be perfectly consistent, but it doesn't seem worth going for online, at least in my opinion right now. Because the normal shortcut is 100% consistent, and this one is like you mushroom and charge jump, and you have to hit a specific spot, and then you have very little time afterwards on the rail to avoid hitting the little, I guess, little divider that comes afterwards. Because if you don't trick right away, you will trick into the divider, and you'll see what I mean right there. Between the two rails that they trick off of here, there's a divider, and if you trick too late, you will hit the divider and completely lose all of your speed. Like, you see that divider they're jumping over? That just kills it. So that's why I don't think that strategy is that consistent. Dino Jungle by Alberto, and this is only 0.3 seconds faster than the last record that we saw. So probably not too much optimization here, but actually, there was something new that I don't remember if it showed up last time or not, so I'll point it out anyway. Oh, wait, that was cool. I blinked and I missed it. Like, I actually missed it. I don't really know what I just saw there. Whoops. Anyway, congrats to Alberto on this, and Alberto actually messaged me after getting this, saying that, hey, we share a track now. And I was like, yo, congrats, you're on my level now. Congrats, Alberto. You'll be fully on my level one day. But yeah, this is like so much. Yeah, like that right there. The little right drift into left drift and get the rainbow mini turbo. I think we saw that last time actually. But this little charge jump to skip the grass, I love that. That is an amazing optimization to not have to deal with the dinosaur's tail just being in the middle of the road right there. Okay, and then this, I still do the short strat for that shortcut. I need to charge that charge jump way earlier like he's doing there. And you also get a better line through the grass. I find myself winning a lot on this track online, and I feel like, honestly, like, because it's such a bagging track online with the shortcuts and like the really bad shock on lap 3 and into the final item sets, I feel like I don't know why my driving skills are proving to be successful here. I feel like on every track, you know, having time trialed it is always an advantage, even if the exact driving lines are not like that much of a big deal. You still gain time everywhere no matter what. So I'm very happy that I time trialed this track and the skills are still working. Nice, getting the trick, not missing it like me. Great question block ruins, everyone's favorite track. Last time I pronounced it as Speezy. I'll try again. Spezzy? We'll see if that's right. Wow, a charge jump here too. I just don't know when is there a charge jump. That's so interesting. Is it just like when we drive in a straight line afterwards? Okay, nice little detach there. Oh, crazy stuff with the rail. I love it. Parabiddy too. Man, this world record just gets better and better. Okay, so the mini turbo version is faster there. Faster than the charge jump. You know, that makes sense, but... Okay, and then this thing. Oh, yeah, look at that. To get the boost panel, too, you barely have enough room there. The more speed you want to preserve, like they did there, the less room you have to work with without falling off the track. So that's one of the hardest shortcuts in the game, and I'm pretty sure we're seeing it 3 for 3 here, which is just incredible stuff. With that detach and this wall, I feel like last time we didn't see the detach and the wall all 3 times. I think I have a vague memory of that. So I wonder if this time we're going to see it on all 3 laps. And then that's where the time save is coming from. Because the strategies so far look roughly the same to me. It's possible, like, you know, with how hard that shortcut is, it's possible we're just saving time on that shortcut and then we go over some safer strats on lap 3. Because just piecing a full run together is already so tough. But I'll be really impressed if all these strategies get done on all 3 laps. So let's see here. Detach. Oh, we're going for it. And the wall! Nice! That's amazing! Okay, you better not mess up the box shortcut on lap 3 here. There must be so much pressure at this point. I wonder how often are you able to get, like, you know, all 9 of these. Oh, crazy stuff. That was basically perfect as far as I can tell. Wow. This is such an impressive world record. I loved that one. That was so awesome to watch. Cheep Falls by Nightmare. This track has had a huge combo change, now to a much slower character, and also has improved by 2.5 seconds. I actually saw a recent world record of this, but not the most recent one, so I'm so curious if there are going to be different strategies here. Okay, made the shortcut onto the rail. That's a pretty tough one to actually make it onto the rail. Most of the time I do that, I don't land on the rail, but it's still faster if you miss the rail. Alright, let's see. This part will get interesting. I know there's something coming up here. Oh, I almost thought we were going left path there. Yeah, a little charge jump right here. And then still enough speed to trick. Now, I tried that on a fast combo, and I don't know if the fast combo is the reason, but I could not get enough speed to trick there. And with a slower combo, I wonder if it has to do with the acceleration stat, or maybe even the mini turbo stat, for why you can get that trick coming out of that shortcut. And I think without the trick, that charge jump may not be worth it. But yeah, like, that's such a huge shortcut, and we used to use the mushroom into there, but now we can use the mushroom into the final shortcut. This is awesome to see. Avoid the cheeps. Okay, yeah, so going around here, not only do you go around the shortcut, you have to go around a couple extra rocks on the side, and turning in water is just so slow. Actually, we pretty much do no turns in the water. Yeah. Wow, that's so cool. This is so optimized because turning in water is really slow and really awkward. There are pretty much no turns in the water on this entire track, and I will explain myself in a sec. What I mean by turning is like a sharper drift. Okay, so, okay, this bit of water doesn't count. So here we're just going straight, you know, using water to our advantage by getting these tricks, and then another trick. And then here, we mostly just steer, you know, just a very slight amount of steering, and then charge jump here, and here, as we come out, this is ground. Like, I don't know if it uses your water speed, but the properties of your movement count as ground. So, oh wow, cut it so tight there. Yeah, that's such an impressive shortcut. Like, all of this is really tough, even the parts that look easy. Dandelion Depths by Alberto. We have switched from Bowser to Wario, and this has improved by about 0.6 seconds. Let's see if there are any big differences. I know that, yeah, we're doing mini turbo tricks here now instead of just tricking and steering. Like, these lines are really tough to perfect, and I wonder if a lot of the time save is coming from the way that we aligned for those mini turbo tricks there, because I don't remember how cleanly it was done last time. The time I saw it last time, that was definitely a relatively new development. So I can totally see just like some bits of optimization saving 0.6 seconds on this track. Okay, so far everything's very similar to what I've seen before. Okay, taking left path here. I believe right path is what we go for on the later laps. Charge jump on the boost panel to get less air. Wow, we cut off a lot of off-road there. That's not how I do it online. Online, I cut off way less because this is a type of off-road where if you still have your drift without a mushroom boost, you will lose your drift entirely, and your mini turbo goes away too. So I definitely cut off less there just to make sure the mini turbo comes out, and that's a safer online strategy. A lot of times you see the world records cut off a lot of off-road. It's actually really risky, depending on the type of off-road. If it's an off-road that lets you drift in it, then it's definitely not risky. But yeah, it really depends on the off-road, and it's hard to tell. You just have to know each off-road works differently and just memorize which one is which. Yeah, we get so little air there, and definitely a lot more forward angle by charge jumping off there. It's very similar to what you do on the big ramp on Wario Stadium. And unless I'm forgetting something, everything looks the same as what I saw last time in terms of strategy. It just seems like the main way I can imagine the time save happened, besides just cleaner driving everywhere, must have been those mini turbo tricks right there, because it's so tough to get the lines just quite right. And even for the top players in the world, it does take practice, a lot of practice over, you know, days and weeks, eventually months and years, for even strategies that have already been discovered to just get done better and better and better. Because, you know, these top players, even someone like Alberto, they are not perfection machines, you know. They are human just like us. They just maybe improve a lot faster and have a lot stronger mentality. Boo Cinema by JBoneX. Same combo and only a fraction of a second time save compared to 2 weeks ago. So I imagine the strategies for the most part are the same. Now, again, I don't perfectly remember what we saw 2 weeks ago, but if anything might be new, I will definitely point it out. Okay, edge trick here, yup. And then take the inside path, because right now it's moving forward if you look at the way the peaches are moving, but then here it's moving backwards, so you want to stay off of that path. Yeah, almost touching it though. Very clean. And then another edge trick right there. Awesome, because you only get a blue mini turbo otherwise. So that trick boost is huge. And then, oh, going for that coin first. Trick here, onto the wall. Wow, and then tricking off the finish line thing. Wait, I don't think that's what it looked like last time I saw it. Last time, I feel like I might have seen the wall, but... Oh, this rail? Oh, that looks so precise. Someone, like, here's how I judge. Like, something that helps me judge the difficulty of these things is, like, that rail is so obvious, right? Like, I've tried that rail. So, that has to be difficult. Because if it's not difficult, then, you know, we must have been doing this in the world record in the first week. Unless I just completely had a lapse in memory and that was already what we're doing, but I don't think so. Alright, let's see it again here. Okay, and then this, tricking onto, getting a wall detached and tricking onto the finish line post, that's so interesting. So you can trick directly onto that rail, and then there's a specific spot where, yeah, it just detaches you off the next rail. Very interesting, I'll have to try that. I wonder if it can be consistent, but I haven't really seen online players do it, but maybe I just haven't seen the right players yet. Maybe I am the player. Another edge trick here. Yup, that is so tough. Man, I wonder if it's gonna get to the point where playing online, the meta is going to include those edge tricks, and that's gonna help you break away on tracks like this where there's not too much to do. I am not looking forward to that. Dry Bones Burnout has been improved by about 1 second. That is really impressive. I wonder what new discoveries have been made here, or if it's just little optimizations everywhere. Okay, so charge jump here, get the orange mini turbo on the wall, stay away from the lava. Oh, got real close. Extra trick there. I didn't know about that. Wonder if that's difficult. Okay, and then honestly, like, I wonder if that's it. Like, it's just that extra trick, and then the rest of the track is just slightly played better. All right, I'm so curious. Yeah, so the little wall detach onto the rail, that's all the same as before. Oh, this! I don't think we saw that last time. And then a trick onto the wall, not even needing a charge jump. Oh, what are you even tricking off of, Wario? That's crazy. Okay, I can't wait to see this all again. So what are we tricking off that? Oh, we're not going for it. What? Why? I wanted to see it again. Is it just really that hard? I wonder if it's slower to do it on lap 2 for some reason. Or if it's just so difficult that we only see it once at the start of the run. Man. Yeah, and then we're just like playing it safe on future laps. That wall detach is a bit inconsistent. If you're playing online, just go for the rail. Okay, so a little charge jump here. Barely enough time to charge it up. Wall detach. Barely trick onto that wall. Trick on what? Okay, I need to see that trick again. This is why we have 3 laps. So I can see everything again on lap 2, but then obviously miss a couple of things and then watch for those few things again on lap 3. If that trick is just really tough, but is faster on all 3 laps, the one we just, like, that we saw in lap 1, it would be so funny if it's like, you know, anytime you're winning against your opponent in time trials, you just, or against the ghost, you just play it normal, and if you're losing, you just go for that risky trick, and then you can make up the time loss. But then obviously, like, one day, someone's gonna get it on all 3 laps. Okay, a little trick there. I'm watching. Oh, that part. Okay, I can see it now that I'm looking for where to trick. That's so crazy. There are so many hidden trick spots in this game. Moo Moo Meadows by Kinso. This is a crazy looking combo. I'm so glad Cow has a record on Moo Moo Meadows. Okay, this I believe we saw last time. On the cow, nice. You get to touch a cow on Moo Moo Meadows. I've done that before a couple of times, but it's just so inconsistent and not something you really want to go for online. And then little tree strategy here. Yup. Don't even need to land on the rail afterwards. What? What? Shroomless? Coming out with a trick boost? That's crazy. Do we do that on all 3 laps? You can Shroomless this one? Every time, my brain just expects a mushroom, even though I know it's obviously not going to happen. Wow. I'm coming from this side this time. And then doing this strategy again. Oh, man. Like, if you do that just quite wrong, you hit the rail and the rail falls over and you don't have the rail for the next lap. It's so ridiculous, the breakable track elements. Let's see this again. So we charge jump on this part, hit the cow, and then just drift. Yeah, so like some off-road is driftable, some off-road is not. And I'm just baffled at that. And then charge jump there, wall detach. Man, this is how we're saving time on Moo Moo Meadows. This is so much more interesting than the Moo Moo Meadows from Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I know this strategy, I will never be going for this online, but the rest of it, I don't know. It looks doable. It's just my speculation. Obviously, I could be wrong, but this part right here, this looks especially doable. Oh. It looks doable until I'm like, oh, the world record won't even attempt it on lap 3. Maybe it's just the hardest thing ever. Okay, but this one is doable. I'll do this one. Oh, man, that's crazy. Okay, so we could definitely get a 3 for 3 to improve this record. Choco Mountain by another. And this is a bit worrying. This record is only improved by 0.1 seconds since 2 weeks ago. This is the smallest improvement we've seen yet. For a track as crazy as Choco Mountain, that's crazy, I guess. However, there has been a new strategy discovered, and hopefully we will see it in a world record very soon. But right here, instead of this trick, right here, we go to the left and you can get onto a wall. Yeah, so I don't know if that's going to be a single lap exclusive strategy or you can do it on all 3 laps, but it, oh wow, a trick there. I didn't know you could get that. Yeah, getting onto that rail is really cool because it just fixes your alignment and sends you immediately to the left. Okay, and there is also another strategy right after this Shroomless cut on the right wall here. On that right wall, you can do something. I think you can take this shortcut Shroomless as well. Crazy stuff. Yeah, and then you would use the mushroom in the later section. I have not done it. I'm just going to show it when it inevitably ends up in a world record. Like, that's the thing with these relatively early world records, is that we're always gonna... Like, we're frequently going to be aware of new strategies that no one has implemented in a record yet. People are definitely grinding for this one, though. I bet at this very moment, someone out there is trying to get this world record with new strategies. But for now, this is the world record. And anytime there are new strategies, there is the potential for a combo change on the world record as well. Sometimes certain strategies are better or easier with, let's say, a slower combo. And so you cannot use the faster combo anymore, which means you lose time everywhere else, but you gain time on that shortcut. So sometimes a shortcut that saves a lot of time may only save a little bit of time when actually implemented into a full world record run because of the other compromises you have to make. And that is why, like, just very frequently, you'll know about strategies that you only see online, or it's like, oh, this is a really cool thing that doesn't show up in the world record. Because the world record is like, you know, it's a very specific constraints with how to do the run. But there are a lot more strategies in this game in total, if you don't just look at time trials. Toad's Factory by Terra. We've seen another switch from Bowser to Wario, and this record has improved by about 0.6 seconds since 2 weeks ago. I'm curious again if it's just more optimized driving or if there are new strategies. I feel like Toad's Factory is a relatively simple track. Okay, so just getting that coin there. I think on lap 2 and 3, there may be a charge jump right there. Yeah, when you play online there are item boxes there as well. And in time trials, it's much simpler. You don't have to make a decision. You just go for the coins. Taking that line real tight. And then, yeah, there are rails right here you can take with the construction beams. But, of course, you can just go over here and barely get that boost paddle. That's crazy. Okay, this charge jump I knew about from before. Now, I think after this green conveyor belt, we're going to go for the charge jump here. Yes, right there. Yeah, that looks like it saves a lot of time with how tightly you can cut it thanks to that charge jump. Or thanks to that rail. Yeah, so a lot of Toad's Factory in time trials is just about taking these turns tightly. And yeah, even though the conveyor belt's going backwards, if you take that line perfectly, it's faster to still be on the backwards conveyor belt. Wow, yeah. So this track, like, I feel like a lot of the fun techniques from Mario Kart Wii are kind of gone. So I do feel like Toad's Factory, while it's really hype that it came back, it's gotten a bit of a glow down. You know, it didn't quite get a glow up. Like, there used to be boxes here you had to avoid as well, and you can even use one of the boxes for a glitch, which probably wouldn't have worked in this game anyway. But then my favorite part about this track in Mario Kart Wii was right after you come out of here, because here on the right, instead of an off-road cut, it was a lake, and you could do a shroomless gap jump over it, and that was really tough. But now it's just off-road and you use a mushroom, so it's way less interesting. Bowser's Castle by this Japanese player. Honestly, Japan needs to step up their game. I haven't said this Japanese player that many times this video. Okay, let's see. Has this shortcut changed at all? Oh, that looks like it could be more consistent than the previous version. Is it faster though? I mean, it should be, right? This record is 1.3 seconds faster than the previous record. Let's see if this one has changed at all. This one should be the same. Yeah, okay. Very nice. And then not going for a drift before this for the alignment. Interesting. All right, then we are still taking left path here. The right path does have a double mushroom shortcut through the lava. Oh, the little trick. That's crazy. I'm never going for that one. What? That jump scared me. Okay, let's see this again. So we blew mini turbo charge jump onto the wall and then hit the corner and barely hit the blue sign. That still looks pretty tough, but I wonder if that's online viable at all. Yeah, so one thing is you don't get to learn online strategies from time trials sometimes because, like, you know, this one you can do online, but the first one, I'm not sure. At least the way we used to do the first one, you definitely don't want to go for that version online. And so if you want to learn online strategies, again, I do have that video teaching you all of the online strategies you have to know. Oh, wow, barely dodged the fire. Okay, so no wall strategy this time. I wonder if we're going to go for it on lap 3, because there was that extra variable of the fireball exploding right at that moment. Wow, this is really cool. Yeah, you barely make it. I don't know, the more I watch, maybe they're just doing it worse and worse every time, but the more I watch, the more I don't think that is online viable. It looks too risky. But it definitely is a lot less setup, and so like less room for things going wrong compared to the regular online strategy. But you know, you have to weigh that against the consistency of it. Let's see if we go for this little wall tech again. Oh, just an edge trick. Okay. I wonder, it looks like they were going for the wall, but didn't go for it. Okay. I always forget the camera can get moved. That's a really annoying way to move it. Acorn Heights by Nanu, and this has improved by about 0.4 seconds. So let's see if there are any new strategies here. So we start by going for coins here, and then there are coin paths here. Yeah, we go for this one. That right trick is really tough. I usually do a neutral trick, but it's a lot slower because you don't get the diagonal trick direction. And then, yeah, that strategy is crazy. Online, you just go for right leaf and then left leaf. Oh, that might be new. The wall. Oh, you get a much better landing line there. Okay, I'll have to see it again on lap 2. Also, this combo, by the way, swoop on the... I forgot what this thing is called. I love the way this looks. Yeah, taking the rails for a little shortcut. This has to be one of my favorite vehicles in this game. Okay, so we're gonna just go down the middle path here. And yeah, here I neutral trick, but you can see the right trick just launches you there and you basically land on the glider panel. If you neutral trick, it's much easier, but you spend more time getting there. Okay, yeah, cool little wall detach tech there. And then here... Oh, we're going for the regular strategy. Okay, I wonder if the lap 1 strategy... Like, here's the thing I never know about. Is that lap 1 strategy just so tough that we only do it on lap 1? Or is it that you have more coins on the later laps and that's why that wouldn't work because you're going faster? Because some strategies are so sensitive to your exact positioning, including this Acorn Heights shroomless shortcut, which you don't see in the world record, but that final shortcut you can take without a mushroom, and the strategy you have to use to get it is actually coin dependent. If you have too many coins, certain strategies don't work. Oh, we're going for it on lap 3. Okay. I just keep cooking up theories in my head. My theory is that this wouldn't have beaten the world record unless they went for it on lap 3. So they're just like, yep, we need to risk it on lap 3. Because why would we specifically skip it on lap 2 if we have the same number of coins? And once world records get older, this is a thought that leaves my head. Because all the best strategies just get used on all laps. But right now it's a bit risky. Mario Circuit by Genswa. This has improved by about half a second, which may not seem like that much, but for how short this track is, being only barely over a minute, half a second is a phenomenal amount of time save. So I imagine there must have been some sort of new strategy we're doing on this track. Otherwise, I don't see us saving half a second. Oh, we get all the way on that block. Okay, I don't remember seeing that. That must be new. But I can't imagine a full half second got saved right there. Okay, huge 2 mushroom shortcut. It's really tough to cut off this much. You have barely enough mushroom to make it through all of that. Then 2 orange mini turbos and cut inside here. Very nice. That's a very important shortcut to do online as well. Then going for this little block right there. Okay, interesting, or I'm interested how the charge jumps are gonna work here. Okay, so this looks like the same as before. I wonder if it's just cleaner lines then. Are we going to see any new strategies besides that block one? So huge shortcut right here. Oh, wait, I think... No, I think we saw this last time, this one. No, on top of the block this time. Okay, that completes the time save. I knew there had to be something else. That is so cool. Peach Stadium by LS or Els. And this, again, is a half-second time save compared to the record from 2 weeks ago. But... unlike Mario Circuit, I imagine this one probably came entirely from the combo change and just cleaner driving. Because this track is more than double the length of Mario Circuit. So, you know, we saw 2 new strategy changes on Mario Circuit to get that half-second time save. And, oh, nice little edge trick. Yeah, so to save half a second on a track twice as long is definitely means like less occurred, you know? Okay, but I am curious if we see any new strategies. If there are any new things, like we may have missed an edge trick earlier actually, now that I think about it. Like on the, like right before the last boost panel, I think. Okay, going for this rail. Whoa, that's a lot of air. That's faster? Oh, okay. I have a feeling part of why that's faster is because you get to do the charge jump charging while in a boost. And that's pretty important because it's pretty slow to charge up a charge jump, and you really have to make that worth it. So not only making that worth it, but also mitigating the time loss from that charge jump. Okay, let's see if we can get 2 edge tricks here. I think there should be 2 here. 1... Oh, we're not going for the left edge trick? Interesting. I don't know, I've been learning so much this month about this game, I don't even remember if that left edge trick was definitely something we've done. Like, I feel like it was, but it's just been too long, and not seeing it here is making me doubt myself. So, mini turbo into here and just trick right away. Oh, okay, so getting that much airtime seems really slow, but I wonder if the extra mini turbo makes it worth it. So it's, you know, because like a mini turbo trick launches you off at a higher speed, and so the air deceleration isn't quite as bad. Okay, I'm curious about the edge tricks here. Still get that one. Still get this one. And none there. Okay, that's just the strategy, I guess. It doesn't even look like they're going for an edge trick there. Maybe my brain is just Mario Kart World scrambled eggs right now, because maybe that was never there and I just thought it was. I wonder if we're doing the same thing with this railing at the end here. No, we're not. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Look at that. That is beautiful. Congratulations, Technical. Ah, the only person with the 3 in front of their name instead of a 4. Let's see how he did it. This is what we have all been waiting for. And compared to last world record, this one has saved 1.3 seconds, which is massive. Well, considering how long of a track it is, you know, it's pretty similar to the time save we got on Peach Stadium, but there are so many turns on this track without a wall, you know, like you can hang off the edge here. You can play it really risky, and so there's a lot of optimization to be had, even though there are not that many shortcuts that you can take on Rainbow Road, just because you can get like infinitely riskier and riskier closer to the edge. And one thing you have to consider with a track like this when you time trial it is that every single risk that you take is worse than in other time trials, because, you know, on a short track like Mario Circuit, if you take a big risk and you don't get it, you waste a minute of your time. But here, 4 minutes of your time, right? So you can kill a 4-minute run because of one little risk that you took. So every risk, every single little thing that you see could go wrong. I just want you to think about that. That is multiple minutes on average, right? On average 2 minutes, because on average every mistake happens halfway into the run. So on average you lose 2 minutes for every mistake you make in your 2 minutes of your life. This strategy change is cool. We're not going for that shortcut so we can get more coins here, and then we go for this next shortcut instead, but we skip the 2 coins on the right. So overall this is still worth it. Wow, a little charge jump there, interesting. Yeah, we've seen a few charge jumps already. Oh, those coins barely make it onto you. Going wide for more coins there, interesting. Yeah, so we're on a speed combo, and the thing with speed combos is that, just as a little rule of thumb, for the fastest combo in the game, the last 4 coins give you the same speed increase as the first 16 coins. So right now, we're just over halfway through the speed increase that we can get from coins. The last 3 coins are going to give a substantial amount of speed increase, and that is why with fast combos, if you can, if it's a track that has a lot of coins, you really, really want to get to 20 coins. Even being at 19 coins is substantially worse than being at 20 coins. Like, it is a very strange system, but it is the real system we are working with. It makes sense though. It kind of buffs slower combos and nerfs the faster combos, but then once you get to 20 coins, it's all good again. It's all balanced again. I think this has been a shroomless shortcut discovered in that section. But yeah, imagine taking, if it's really risky, imagine taking that big risk 2.5 minutes into the run. That's something you only want to do if there's no other time save you can find on the track. And so a lot of times, like world records, and the world record holders, the best players in the world, they are not perfection machines. You know, there's still elements of risk to this, and they have only a certain amount of time they can allocate to practicing these. So you're not always going to see perfection in all the runs, but that's part of the beauty, actually, is that these are not perfect. These are an amount of risk that these players are willing to take, and you know, sometimes the risks have to pay off, because if you are going for too risky things, people can just keep lowering and lowering the record, and you never get to have a record because you just never piece together a full run that you always knew you were capable of, but you took too many risks. That is just fundamental to speedrunning. And look at this glider. We're gonna see more edge tricks. Are we gonna get one here? No, not quite. Okay. There's definitely one at the very end of the run. And just keep in mind, if you fail it, that is 4 minutes of perfect gameplay down the drain. When you see this edge trick, just keep that in mind. That is what made this run under 4 minutes. Congratulations, Technical, for being the very first player to beat Mario Kart World.